Hi everybody. I just wanted to clarify something. I did a video yesterday and I was talking about how I took my client to the emergency room and got no help after 10 hours, and I found out why I didn't get any help. Well, it was because 150 doctors and nurses had to walk away from their profession because they were being forced to take the bite. And they refused to take the bite. I learned this from the second hospital that I had taken my client to, where the doctors and the nurses there told me. I thought originally it was 15 doctors and nurses. They said no, it's 150. I heard it right from people who absolutely know what was going on. But the weird thing that I wanted to point out is there was not one news coverage of this. There was not one newspaper article written about this. There was absolutely nothing said about 150 doctors, nurses, and medical staff that walked away from their profession because of them being forced into taking the bite. I want to applaud these doctors and nurses. They see on a daily basis the result of the bite, and they have a right to say no. There should be a right to refuse this. It's neither safe nor effective, as we all know, because they keep changing the narrative. This is 99.9% effective, And now it's, we weren't meaning that you wouldn't get it. We're just saying, no, you'll get a lighter dose of it whenever you do get it. And yes, you can still spread it. And yes, you can still. Really? Then what's the point? You might as well. Anyway, we've been told a massive lie, and we're continuing to be told a massive lie. When I realized there was not one report on this, not one. I sat in an emergency room getting no help, and along with a bunch of other people who showed up with blood clots in their bodies, arms and legs, neurological problems, who got zero help for 10 straight hours, and past that, I'm sure, because I left at 10 hours. They stayed. I was the first one out the door. I'm like, I'm out of here. This is ridiculous. This is what is going on. I even mentioned to the man across from me who was sitting there with paperwork from his doctor saying he had blood clot in his leg and needed a scan immediately. That's why he sent him to the emergency room more than 10 hours ago. I said, there's no doctors back there. I get the feeling everyone's gone. I don't think anybody's back there. And I darned tootin' if I wasn't right. That there really was such a staff shortage that nobody got seen from midnight on. From where I was sitting, nobody was getting seen. But they didn't bother to tell anybody that. And they didn't bother to tell anybody to go to another emergency room. You might get better help there. No, they let people sit and suffer for really no reason. Because they could have shared the truth with them and been honest, but they had the reputation to uphold, and they didn't want they couldn't say anything. But what was really going on, there, you can't know what's really going on. You can't know the truth. You have to know a lie, or you aren't told anything. You just won't know what's going on. My mother was a teenager in Nazi Germany, and she had friends down the street that were Jewish, a Jewish family down the street that were friends of theirs. And what the German people were told was, we're relocating some families. We're moving some people. They're not telling them they're taking them to concentration camps or any place horrible. They're just going to be relocated. So there's no terror there, right? It's kind of weird. Don't know what's going on. Somehow they're rounding up some people. I'm sure the German people wondered what was happening. My mother didn't know. She just one morning woke up and found that Jewish family had been taken away in the middle of the night. She had no clue where they went. No one did. They were rounded up in the middle of the night and taken away. The regular German people had no clue what was with the horrors that were going on in that country, what they were truly doing. They were under deception. They believed that they were coming out of a bad place. But they weren't told the truth. And we're not being told the truth. Just like that. And when you wonder and you criticize, I know lots of people, including myself, criticize the Jews. How could they just let themselves be taken over like this by Nazis? How could they do it? But I'm watching how it happens. You take over the media. You take over everything. You suppress the truth. You allow anyone to share the truth. You stop people from being able to communicate back and forth who have absolute information to the opposite of what the main media is trying to push on people. The truth starts to eke out a little at a time and they squash the truth. As we see what's going on with YouTube, and as we see what's going on with Twitter, and as we see what's going on, anyone who dares to speak anything against any of this is completely shut down. I'm just wondering when the swastika is going to start showing up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We have reverted back in time. It's happening all over again. And we've gone so far back in time, it's all gone all the way back to the days of Noah, hasn't it? Where we're becoming a mixture. It's really seriously bad. And there's absolutely, the media is not for you, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to hear the truth on the news. If you're looking at the news, you're looking at whatever they want you to know, but not necessarily the truth. Or what they want you to believe a lie. So be careful what you're listening to. Try to find alternative things. You know, I and many others, no doubt, will be shut down completely. But the truth is truth. God knows the truth, and we're supposed to be girded with truth. It's supposed to be what centers us. The truth will set you free. But I know one thing. Remember when it was my body, my choice? And the women's liberation movement came along, and everybody's free speech. And what happened to all of that? What happened to free speech? What happened to having a right to your own opinion? How about or an opposite opinion can be heard? Now you can't even hear the opposite opinion. Now you can't even examine things openly to find out if it's a truth or a lie. You can't even begin to question it. So when the Bible talks about in the last days there will be great deception, wow, are we there? Great deception. Pray that you're not deceived. We have to pray. And I want to also lift up all of these men and women who've had to walk away from a profession they worked incredibly hard to get to. They didn't do this lightly, I'm sure. I'm sure it's terribly stressful for them. But at the same time, they had no choice. They had no choice, did they? They had to do the right thing for their very own lives. And I'm sure many of these doctors and nurses would love to be able to talk about this openly, but instead, their voices get silenced. What happened to America? What happened to the last place on earth where you could have a free voice to speak? Where is it? Where is it? How did all the media get taken over? How did everything change so quickly? I'll tell you how. The enemy has but a short time to do his thing. It's time for that period of time in the Bible talks about where he causes everyone all around the world, great and small, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. And that you can't buy or sell without it. Are we there? It's pretty darn, looking pretty, you know, if it walks like a duck and sounds like a duck, quacks like a duck, it might be the duck. So, you know, This is where we stand tough, we hang tough, we stand on our principles. We do not be changed by something, because the days of Noah and the days of today, it's a changing of a person. It's a changing. People are choosing to believe man over God, trusting in the hand of the flesh instead of, we're supposed to pray for the sick and they will recover. This is diabolical on many, many levels, and we just have to stand tough, and we have to stand in our faith. We have to know that, if you were taken out of that medical profession, God's going to use you. He's going to use you for that same knowledge that you have. He's going to use you. It'll be okay. You're doing the right thing. And all I have to say is, well done, good and faithful servants, because you know what? You have to do what you have to do. A lie is a lie, and the truth is the truth. And if they want you to push a lie, and when you know the truth, you have to stick with the truth. That's all there is to it. You have to stick with the truth. If the truth means that a lot of people are going to be hurt by taking the bite, and you know this truth, and you try to share this truth, they'll try to muzzle you. I know. But hang tough. God knows what you're doing and you're dealing with. And I pray for all of you that have had to make that decision. We all probably will in the end. Choose your side and stick to it. Know that the Lord is with you. You are doing the right thing. You're erring on the side of correct, the truth, which is never wrong. God will protect you. God will provide for you. You wait and see how you're used in the last days. You have knowledge, you're able to know things, to do how to help people. You'll be used in the last days. God's got a place for you. Don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. You've made a stand, and you should be so very, very thankful and proud of yourselves for doing it. What good are you if you also succumb to the bite? What good is any doctor or any military person who ends up falling because of the bite? Where will they be? How helpful will they be when they've fallen? I support you. I'm with you on this. I pray that the Lord protect you, guide you, keep you safe and protected. We all need that now. And I thank very much God for you. I'm praying for you all. And don't worry. Look up. Lift up your head, because your redemption's getting nearer and nearer. Hang in there. This is a very short period of time, you understand, in history. Satan has but a short time to do his thing. This is finite. It's going to end. And eternity will be the outcome. Some to everlasting damnation, and some to everlasting life with Jesus Christ. Be on that side, everybody. Don't falter and don't fall into this pit with everybody else. Just if everybody's jumping off a cliff, that doesn't mean you have to do it. Hang in there. God love you. God keep you guys. Make His face shine upon you and give you great and mighty peace in these very treacherous days. Hang in there. You'll get through this in Jesus' name. Okay, bye-bye.